Did you just leak that? Are we
No,
leaking
like,
it?
this is the last episode, man. Like, we can't come back from this. How do we become friends after this episode? How do we like made the Zuby with you?
My feelings aren't hurt.
Whoa! Welcome to MTZWBY with you, America's most undecided TCG podcast. I am, of course, joined by the birthday boy, no birthday man, no birthday bank robber, Josh.
What's up, everyone? Josh from Hometown TCG right here.
Who has the newest and greatest new MTG content if you're looking for content.
It's good content.
That's the nicest thing.
Josh, I watched your video.
That's
today,
great.
buddy.
I'm also joined by... Are you ready? Great. I'm also joined by the man who switches his podcast days more than his pants, Louis DeGeorge.
Probably might be true.
That is absolutely true. You switched his podcast day 20 times today. And I know you don't own 20 pairs of pants.
That's all right. And we're joined by George, owner of Compete Sport, who had a great week with Brothers War. Good job, George. I'm proud of you.
This is amazing.
All right,
I want you to know. Oh my God, whatever. Screw it.
No, what do you want me to know?
I, for one, am shocked that having serialized cards with alt arts and different kinds of foiling would make a box sell well. I never saw this coming. I never could have predicted this.
It's not
like
alt
so shocking to me.
And the foiling is only different if you are a liar like Mark Rosewater and say that it's different, and it's really not.
God.
Like it's
okay.
like
We'll get into this in a minute. Wow.
Doesn't remotely look different on the foiling.
Mark Rosewater, please just ban him, not me. I still love you, baby.
It's all right. He'll be fired pretty soon. There's no way Rosewater makes it through 2023.
Bro, I just started Magic content today. Stop getting me banned.
No chance. Rosewater makes it.
I should warn everybody. This is George's annual. I've had a few drinks at my Fun Park Convention podcast, so you're welcome.
Okay, so I would like to start off by thanking our sponsor to this podcast today. Did you guys know we had a new sponsor?
Your communication is fantastic.
Yeah, we have a new sponsor to this channel, TCG Player. Well, really, I'm sponsoring them. I would like to thank my employees for making TCG Player like $3,500 this week in TCG Player fees, and they are then as a thank you to me for giving them so much money. They are sponsoring this podcast with my TCG Player affiliate link, which is in the description of my videos. And has been for the last 3 years. So, TCG Player, thank you for supporting the channel. Let's talk about Brothers War, everyone.
Are you done? Can we talk about the things that matter?
We're going to talk about exactly that. That was a good segue into Brothers War. How was it for you, George?
This was the biggest weekend in my store's history.
Why are you upset about that, Josh?
I have serialized card number 69, and I left it upstairs.
Oh man.
This was a great set. This was an absolute great set. The serialized cards worked as I thought they were. The big shock to me is the Transformer foils. I would not be a buyer at these prices. I will warn people. I would not be a buyer at close to these prices. I would not be a buyer at half these prices for some of them, if I'm being perfectly honest. But that's all right. That's all right. Spend your money where you love. If y'all love some Transformers, y'all love some Magic. Sounds like a lot of you do right now. I would, I'm not a buyer at these prices for the Transformers, but like I am shocked at how well that worked. I'm not shocked at all by how well the serialized worked. Completely shocked at how well the foil Transformers worked.
I'm the opposite. I am shocked at how low the serialized cards are. They're like selling for like $300. Like that seems really low to me. The Transformer cards are super interesting because I think initially people didn't understand how rare they were. Like there was a couple sales for like $300 on TCG Player, but then like the very next sale was the $2,500.
Last week when we talked about serialized cards, you were fudding them up, and you said, "What would the price be?" I said $200, and you were like, "They won't be near that for some of them." And now they're
I think for the bad ones, I don't think they'll be like the 200 to 300. But I think for like some of the mythic ones, like Josh got a Mystic Forge 69 for $300, right, Josh?
And I mean, like that seems low to me. But like, how many?
That's insane.
But how many of those are there? of the mythic.
500.
And how many of the common are there for the
500.
limited edition? Oh, okay, so the same numbers. Okay, just want to make sure I understood that correctly.
There's a difference between supply and demand, George. If you were in economics, you would understand this.
That's correct. So my point is that like the supply is the exact same,
but the demand is different. I thought that
apparently not.
This is my point. For those mythics, the ones that are like iconic cards that people really know about. I'm sorry, like who wants an ivory tower? You mean like that's like
I got one. Go screw yourself. I bought one this weekend.
Like Panharmonicon, a card people want. Like there are.
I think the difference is not rarity; it's playability.
Aetherflux Reservoir. Like if you pull out an Aetherflux Reservoir, you should be feeling good about that. $300 is too cheap, in my opinion.
What did Mox Amber go for? Has one of those sold yet? First serialized? I haven't seen one.
I haven't seen one of those.
There was one up for auction on one of the finance pages, and the last I looked, I think it was around $900, $925, and the bids were $25 increments.
Crazy cheap to me.
Now I last looked midday yesterday, and it was still going up. So the auction was still going. It didn't end until sometime today. But I think you guys are both missing something. As someone who spent the majority of his weekend chasing these things down and constantly asking you guys like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, I'm looking at this. Hey, I'm like, I was able to nab 4 of these things. I didn't pay more than $300 for any single one of them. And you have some sections of the community that are saying, this is a mythic, it should be worth more. There are some sections of the community saying, it's a serialized card. I want it. I want to get out of it. There are some people, I had some potential sellers say the phrase to me, I'm not ready to get off the train yet. Like I'm enjoying this. They had it listed for $2,000. We were negotiating down between $300 and $400, and they just said, "Hey, I'm not ready to get off the train yet. I want to hold on." Baby. Dude, this is wild. Nobody knows what to do. Nobody can just log on to TCG Player and see what it's worth. Nobody has any idea.
When a box is $220, pulling a $300 card isn't that incredible. Like 5 years ago, when boxes were $100, pulling a $300 card.
You pull other cards.
There's
other cards in the box.
No, from a consumer standpoint, your brain says I spent $220 on the box. Your brain says I spent $220 on a box. This card's only worth $300. From a consumer standpoint, that's not enough to sell it.
Are you sure? Because people were selling them to me and very excited about it. So I think you might be wrong.
Louis, compare how this box is doing the week after release to literally any other release in the last year.
Other than Kamigawa.
From a standard set.
Other than Kamigawa.
Other than Kamigawa.
I'm on the train that this is the best set. I've been on the train that this is the best set of the year since before the set was released.
Last week you got off that train. Welcome back to the train. Your train, very fickle.
True.
That's false. Dominaria United with a strong comeback. I'm feeling it.
No, it was not. I can't wait for Dominaria United to be on the TCG, the Amazon sale next week.
Oh, I'm buying it all, baby. I'm getting into your guys' world. It's a buyout.
Oh, there it is.
Josh-centered buyout.
There's the classic TCG king. I'm going to buy every single box under $200. Every single one. Doesn't matter if there's 10,000 of them.
No. At $56 on the Amazon, not $200. What are we talking about? Hold
on. So I had an opposite week of George. George had a great week at a store. Best sales ever, right, George?
Between everything, I think it was.
Nice. My store did fine. We had 15 people at pre-release, which is good for my store. That's good. That's like, I mean, any more than that,
that's respectable.
Anything more than that, we wouldn't be able to fit it. People don't buy a ton of product, which is fine. But we had an opposite. We opened all the boxes, and
who hurt you?
Yeah. Holy crap! Listen, people in the comment section watching this. There's like a dream that TCG players and investors and people who have like care about TCGs have, which is like someday I'm going to mass box open a set and it's going to be great. I'm here to tell you right now, it is not great. It is not fun.
Right, you convinced me. Next set, get ready, baby. Compete for mass box opening. I'm ready.
It is way too much work.
What's the next set? Phyrexian? I won't even be able to read the words. Let's roll.
Listen, I lowered my Phyrexian order by like 85%.
I have a couple takes on this. Hold on, I have a couple takes. First of all, how are you the only business that fails during the most profitable, amazing set release? You called set of the year.
No,
George has
okay.
a record weekend, and
Hold
you
on.
flop?
No, I did not flop. That is not fair. And like everybody on TCG
Come on,
players
Josh.
selling,
He had 15 players and nobody bought a box. How is that a flop, Josh? Come on, buddy.
everyone
Well,
on
he's
everyone
different. He's
at-
selling singles.
everyone on TCG players selling at break even or a loss right now. Like
Okay, but you're selling singles, right?
yeah, and TCG player took $3,400 in profit off of those
I
sales.
picked that up during
Yeah.
the salty intro. But doesn't this also not include the sale of the baller cards that you pulled?
What he's saying doesn't include. I didn't give you any numbers to go off of. I didn't.
Your vibe, your totals,
Still
your
not worth it.
decimation.
Still not worth it. I still made 25% because of the shattered glass foil. Not worth
Hey,
it.
Louis,
Not worth it.
quick question for you. What box did you open that shattered glass foil on? Just asking for a friend.
The first box.
So you would have made the exact same profit
worry.
if you opened one box or all of your boxes.
Don't worry. I opened the second shattered glass foil on the fourth box.
So if you opened one case, you would have made more profit than if you opened all your cases.
Can someone in the comment section give this man the definition of quit while you're ahead?
Yes. Well, like that's the thing. We didn't understand how rare they were. This was my point earlier with the shattered glass foils. People were selling them. George was telling me I should have gotten rid of it when I should have sold it. You should have sold it. One just sold for $300. George was telling me that I made a giant mistake by not selling at $1,100 to his person in his store.
You've caught me. I'm the big Magic the Gathering collector. I'm a secret empty.
Wheeling and dealing for me.
I have wheeled and dealed for you a lot this week. Thank you very much.
Yeah, whatever. So yes, Josh. Then my shattered glass, I sold it for $2,500, which is great. That's literally all the profit.
That's amazing how bad that went for you.
So I still have my serialized cards. I still think they're cheap. Like I still think $300.
Oh wait, how many serialized cards did you pull?
3.
So you made $3,400, $3,500.
Yeah.
And you're still complaining.
I'm complaining about the amount of work that it takes to do that.
And this was my second point: is you worked for a weekend and you're complaining.
No.
Yes.
I didn't work for a weekend.
So you made
work for a
average.
weekend.
You made what the average family in America makes in a month in a weekend, and you're still complaining because it's not enough for
Ivory
you.
Tower YouTube channels, I tell you.
God Almighty!
Stop!
Everybody in the comment section, put in the comments how bad you feel for Louis for making what the average.
How many Magic 30 products are you buying? How many
Comment
Magic 30 products are you buying?
This is gaslighting the comment section.
Oh my gosh! Did you bid on the $3,000 Mox?
No, okay. Are we going to talk?
It's got to be you. That's where the profit went, George. We hit the bottom of it.
Let me say my point here. The manpower hours that went into a mass box opening. I bet you I made less than minimum wage after paying my employees.
My work hours.
My poor family. My poor
people that work for me.
My poor family. Listen, like it's a ton of work. You guys can laugh it off all you want, but the amount of work is insane.
Okay. All right. And that might be true.
Can you give me a preview of this? Like, when is your store expanding? I want to make sure I understand this correctly.
So, we'll get into that. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
I want to get us back on track, and I want to talk about something that is.
Were we off track? I was talking about my brother's war experience.
You could have just stopped with you were talking. Yes, we were off track. we were off track.
You two were making fun of me and gaslighting the audience.
You're like, I only made as much.
Don't bring the audience into this.
A month in a week. I hope everybody feels terrible for me.
Yeah, well, when that's all the money that you make in the 6 months that you've been doing this, like that's not that great of money.
Is that true?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Anyway, my point being, this is a weird time. It's the first time in how many set releases are people opening cards and you can't just pop on TCG Player or eBay and instantly know how much this card is worth. I can't remember the last time that happened in Magic. Maybe the pink strip neon card in Kamigawa. Other than that, man, I think that's super exciting. You open this, and all of a sudden, there's all this unknown flying around, and you get to have that excitement. You can list it for $2,000, and people rage at you, and then people tell you it's going to go up, and nobody has any clue. Like you said, the Transformers sold, the Shattered Glass Transformers card sold for $300, and then there was a sale for $2,500. I wonder who that was. Oh, let's look at Louis' books. Exactly $2,500
No,
profit. Wow.
So there was 3 of them sold in the same day, almost in the same hour. And I was working with a guy on Facebook, and he was like, he was using the $300 sale. Like, this guy wanted the card. This is what shocked me. This guy wanted the card, and he was at like $900, and then the $300 sale happened. And then he was like, no, this is like, worth $300. Like 3 minutes after the sale happened on eBay, he must have been watching it. Is what happened. It sold for $2,500, and he was like, "I'll give you $2,300 right now for it." Like it's like that. Like people, like this guy he wanted the card so bad. It's super interesting.
It's super exciting, and you guys will know this more than me. This kind of hype, this level of excitement, don't you think that builds that nostalgia factor, especially for your guys' customers as store owners, that makes them, they're interested in the set for longer. They care about it for longer.
Louis' face was total disgust with your assessment. No, like I actually agree with you, Josh, but Louis looked like he was gonna vom all over you through the camera.
So I think like my store, they're not collectors. They're not. Like,
they don't buy product. They can't be collectors by definition.
Right. They like playing. They're not like, it's just a different demographic than Mr. Whale here buying up every $300 serialized card he can find on the interwebs. Like,
that's you, Josh.
Like they're
you this time. Nice.
Yeah, that's you.
Holla for a dollar, mother. Don't worry.
Like I think what you're saying is probably still true for the set, because pre-release was a blast. Everybody had so like actual fun playing. Like the way the set was set up, they loved using the artifacts. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, I only have like 15 green cards in my entire pool because I have 25 artifacts. I can literally build in any direction." And it was like cool to see people's, I wouldn't say nostalgia, but like this set reminds me of Throne of Eldraine. It reminds me of War of Spark, some of those more iconic modern
sets. You of a successful set.
Yeah, like the feeling of it.
It reminds you of a set that sells.
I didn't flop.
You floundered.
You guys are a bumble throne.
You guys are jerks. You guys are jerks. This is
Don't meet him on his birthday.
Happy birthday, Josh.
Apologize to him.
I forgot. You just have to take out your, you have to make everybody sad to be happy. I get it. That's fine. Happy birthday.
Hurt people, Josh.
Yeah,
remember
Josh.
That, please.
I'm going to talk to Carol about this week. Oh, wait. She's on vacation.
How did this turn around on me? How did I become the ire of everyone's hatred?
Not me, baby. I'm on your team, Josh.
Let's go.
Especially Louis' fat cat. I only make as much as the average family.
That's got to be a clip. Someone in the comment section.
I will take home $0 as a result of Brothers War personally.
How is that possible?
It goes back into my business, George. Like we want to make this a business podcast. Like it all goes back into the business.
I'm the only thing keeping this from a business podcast, boys.
Yes. Okay. I had to pay.
I also made $0 last year. Then, in case you're wondering, I borrow $1 from either one of you after this podcast.
Is that how you rich guys do it? To hide the taxes? I didn't make anything.
So
I didn't make any money.
Look, I also made $0 last year. I apologize.
Let's talk about this. This is what stores will have to go through this week. There were three releases, 3 pretty big releases, 2 major releases, Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. I had to wire $35,000. So the $3,000 that I profit off this is just going to recoup the money from Pokemon and other games that are in my inventory. Like that's what happens with stores. So it's not just a blanket gross profit that goes into like my flooding basement. It just like
it's got so much more depressing.
It just goes into the cash
I can't
flow.
put it into my flooded basement. I'm putting it into my failing business.
It sounds the
Louis George story.
Listen, cheers. I appreciate your perspective, and it's always
buddy.
fun to chat with you about how things are going on behind the scenes. But I think you're wrong. I think people are going to have an emotional connection to this set. I think they're really, really going to feel that way about this product.
Okay.
Why are you shaking your head?
I didn't say that wasn't true.
You disagreed with me when I proposed it 5 minutes ago.
You said that the only nostalgia exists is for the people who pulled the serialized cards.
That's not at all what he said.
That is not what I said. That's
It's not even
close.
close to what he said.
All right, whatever.
Like,
Continue.
That's the best podcast we've ever done.
That might not be what you
Nobody
said.
knows what's going on.
If you're watching, I need help. I need to be saved. I need assistance.
That might not be what you said, but it is certainly what I heard.
Okay, but my point is, with the news that dropped today that we talked about, with the change in Hasbro, stock, everything going to zero, everyone freaking out. It's nice to know some people are going to have some cool and good feeling nostalgic toward a set in this era. I think that's nice. It's a nice little message.
They'll have nostalgia from Magic the Gathering, the game they can't play anymore.
Oh my God. Let's do
God.
this. Fine. Let's do this.
Are we really? You started transitioning so early. We didn't even talk about the set, like the funness of it. Whatever. All right. Let's get into it. Hasbro kills Magic the Gathering.
You're right. We were too busy being therapists for your failing business.
No, you were too busy bashing my business for no reason. Zero reason.
Louis, you started off bashing your business in our defense. You're like, let me tell you how crappy I did with Brothers of War.
And guys, if you like Louis, you can visit CavDeansMarket.com and you can help him recover some of these Brothers War bags.
You can help him make more than the average family this year, this month. If you're feeling bad for him, if you're looking at your finances and go, I only made $4,000 this month, you can help him out a little bit.
So is my business failing, or am I? Yeah, is my business failing, George, or am I like great?
It's up to you, baby.
I don't know. We're coming at you from all angles. We want to make sure we hit it.
I'm believing in you, baby. I believe in you fully. Yeah. You're doing great.
Yeah,
you're doing great.
We used to be friends.
If we attack you for all of it, someone's going to be right.
This is it. After everything, George, this is where it ends.
This is it. This is over.
Okay. Speaking of it being over, welcome
to that's a transition.
Welcome to Hasbro Kills Magic the Gathering.
Oh my God. Okay. I have to get serious. A little bit sober up here. I don't understand why people are freaking out.
That makes sense to me. I can't think of a more disconnected human being than you, George. So that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So, Bank of America did a double downgrade. That sucks for shareholders.
This wasn't the only time that's ever happened.
No, that's not the only time there's ever been a double downgrade.
I think it's the only time it's happened to Hasbro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like it's not like a common occurrence, but it's not like an unheard of occurrence.
Okay.
And now it's over. I will remind everybody that Hasbro brought in as much revenue as Wall Street expected last quarter.
Cool. Good for them.
They came in short on profit.
Mm.
So they brought in the same amount of money as Wall Street expected last quarter.
Okay.
It was a profit problem. Louis, you know all about that. We just heard your tale of profit problems. Maybe you can call Mark Rosewater for advice. Or maybe Mark can call you. I'm not here to judge anybody.
I wouldn't answer the phone.
That follows.
You would.
I would not. I couldn't have less respect for somebody.
So, what am I missing? I get Bank of America got cranky. But,
oh my God, no.
Bank of America got cranky.
Holy crap, George.
What's changed in the last 48 hours? And then,
nothing. You're right. Nothing's changed in the last 48 hours. It's
however,
been 3 years of complete 3 years.
Don't look at them.
Of complete milking of a
worked
brand.
My wife too. It helps.
So this in my mind, the last 3 years of Magic the Gathering reeks of a corporation trying to maximize profits to put on a sheet to sell a brand, to say we were able to make. And I want to be very clear. I do not think that Magic the Gathering is for sale, but that is the attitude of which they are going about this. And when you do that, when you milk that cow and you just keep it going, eventually things run out. And that's where we are now. And the straw that broke the camel's back is the $1,000 packs.
Okay. The
Like
$1,000 packs that haven't happened yet is what broke this camel's back. I mean,
hasn't
like,
happened yet. What does that mean? Like they announced them. The community has seen them.
They haven't released yet.
Yeah, but they're inevitable.
They haven't been released yet.
They're inevitable, though.
That is your worst take ever on this podcast. Ever the worst thing you've ever said on the podcast is that sentence right there.
You told me God of Magic bans me. Mark Roser, I've done nothing. I've been the only voice defending you the last 3 months, apparently anywhere on YouTube.
Hey. Amen.
Like, I don't like. I'm gonna separate this $1,000 packs because I still think people whining about that is a little wild to me, to be honest with you. Just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. It's not that hard. If you don't like the product, you don't have to buy the product.
Sure.
But like, nobody nobody really thinks Magic's gonna die.
No, I don't think that's the leap that you made the first time that I struggled with. It's just because people are upset with this and it's a bad thing. I don't think people are jumping to the conclusion that Magic's going to die, right? Magic's a very large ship at this point. To sink that ship all in one go would be impressive.
Like, did you see the summit totals? We're talking about next week. The summit was packed. They had indoor plumbing and everything. I mean, like they had a great event.
It's crazy.
I just like.
So
I don't get it. Hold on one second, Boo Boo. Like, I honestly feel like I'm missing something because, like, clearly everybody was like, "Get the pitchfork ready. We're burning Mark Rosewater's house down tonight." And I'm just like, I don't get, like, nothing's changed. Like, this is this is who they are.
So first off, Rosewater gets all the slack, but Chris Cox, I think, he's the CEO of Hasbro or the whatever of Hasbro. Like Hasbro is the reason. My gripe with the whole thing is it doesn't seem like Wizards of the Coast has any power at all. They are completely powerless. They are useless. And I honestly believe that this will fall on Wizards of the Coast employees, not on Hasbro's employees. Like it will the issue will fall on them. And so I think Magic as we know it, I think over the next years is in big danger.
Wait, define big danger. What are they in danger of having happen?
So I personally think that in the next, I don't want to say this, but in the next 12 to 48 months, we will see something happen that will be an exclusive Magic the Gathering arena product. But we will see an entire set, an entire thing released.
We've already seen that. So that's good. That's a good call. We've already had
a brand new set, brand new mechanic.
Alchemy sets.
Yeah, that's not brand new stuff. It's rehashing of old stuff and changing the text, right?
No, but there is new stuff in there as well.
No, I'm talking a full release product, a full release set that would have been something for a standard set, but just doesn't see paper print that we'll see into arena to see if a test of if that's a change of a business model.
Okay.
I think that is the future of Magic the Gathering.
So let me ask you this. You said they were in danger, and I asked you what danger, and said they're going to do a Magic Online only set. What is the danger? Like you never got to that point.
The danger is that if that is the if they don't see a decrease in profits as a result of that, it is far more profitable to move that direction. And you're going to see paper Magic come. I wouldn't say paper Magic would be dead. I think paper Magic comes to a standstill.
So the danger is not for WotC, it's for LGSs.
I think for the majority of consumers of new modern Magic product, that feels like the end of Magic the Gathering or an era of Magic the Gathering.
But then it won't work, right? Because then they won't make the same profit margin because people won't buy the cards.
So I think they have it's a different demographic. It's a different audience.
But my point is, like, why wouldn't they want both?
Because one is not profitable. If they have to print as much as they're printing,
clear here, like that's inaccurate. Like that is demonstrably false based on their earnings. Like that is not at all what that is not at all what they've said. That's even what that's not even what people have alleged is my understanding. Like I can't imagine a world in which selling Distro a box for the price that they sell Distro a box, they're losing money.
But
That seems
obviously something's
crazy
not
to me.
working because they feel like they have to up the print run. They feel like they have to print it to oblivion and come out with a million different sets and
Well,
do whatever. Obviously that's not working. So how do they keep the revenue going?
How is
but
it
this
obvious?
is
Like,
this is
Go
part of the analysis that came out in the article. I think it was George, you shared it with us. I made a
did.
video about it today. The one I used was investing.com that kind of dug into this video.
Did you credit me at least?
No, I credited Rudy. It's all Rudy.
I sent it to you before the Rudy video came out.
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time. But I think the big thing that we can take away from that article
Rudy,
is
I want credit in your next video since I didn't get it from Josh. Continue, Josh.
Rudy, just give it to him so I don't have to hear about it. Jeez. I think the biggest takeaway from that article is, for me at least, is we don't get to have it both ways. Because we've made several claims that WotC and Hasbro more directly has made decisions for Magic the Gathering directly because of the bottom line and the share price. We have literally credited decisions and moves and the number of products to the share price. Well, in that article during the analysis, it was I want to say assumed, but again, it's some kind of analysis, right? So there's some kind of logic behind this, that part of the reason for this degradation in share price is because of the lack of faith in long-term Magic products and for the wallet fatigue, essentially the overprinting of products giving people kind of this unrest. If WotC is always in service of the bottom line and it's been declared that this is harming the bottom line, I really think that we're going to see a pullback in the number of products, because the number of products is hurting I know it's counterintuitive. I understand sell, make our money. But now you're being told that all this selling is hurting the share price. And I think it's hard for people to go into that boardroom and defend continuing selling when there's public information claiming that's what's hurting your share price.
And this is where I'm missing something. Let me be very clear here. I am missing something significant because I don't think things are going as badly as everybody else does.
Why not? What is your
that analysis wasn't great, right? We agree that analysis was bad. Yes?
What analysis?
I don't think so. Wait, what?
The target share price dropping from $72 to $42.
Yeah, that's not great. I mean,
sure.
You think the analysis is wrong?
No, that analysis is that's a bad thing.
I think the stock market disagrees with me.
Yeah, George is going against everything.
The stock market, the stock market clearly thinks WotC.
George is basically like Rudy's a liar.
That's not at all what George is like.
The stock market lies. No. I had a good weekend, and so everything's fine. That's George's take.
No, my take is that I don't think that they're I get that they have a lot of extra inventory, but I don't think that means they have too many products. That means they have too much of the products. So instead of producing less sets, produce less boxes of the sets.
Listen, I don't think that I think that the community is saying we don't want to. We had this conversation in my pre-release. We were starting a league, and I was like, "Hey, we're going to start the league next week, and then in a couple months it'll end." And they were like, "Well, it's really only 2 months because that's when the next set comes out." And everybody laughed at is it even worth it to do a league if the league only lasts 2 months? Will they even get their money out of the league? Because people don't want a set every 2 months. We already have the previews for the next set that's coming out. You don't even have a chance to enjoy it because the next cards are coming out. I have so many messages from people saying, I'm only buying 2 or 3 singles a set because I just don't have the time, the energy to actually enjoy a set. And that's when Josh is talking about nostalgia. No, Josh, there might be some nostalgia for the set, but the fact is most people are going to play this once or maybe twice and then move on because the next set comes out.
Stop. They're not stop. They're not playing in your. If you went to your pre-release, you're going to play this set more than twice. Stop it.
I don't think that's accurate.
But how much more? I mean, think about
it. Here's my point: is that I don't Then how come? There's 2 things. Why aren't we seeing this in poor revenues? Why are people are still buying the product?
Secret Lair.
Revenues are constant. Why are we seeing these Magic events filled? Why are we seeing Why did we see people furious that they got shut out of the secret layer? Like, why is this outrage seem to be not following through on their balance sheet? Like, that's what I don't get.
Listen,
Nick, this is where, like, I think I'll disclosure. I bought some more Hasbro today. Like, I don't see the outrage that everybody else is talking about. I could just be blind and stupid. I've been called worse by better. But like,
I don't know which part of that I'm more insulted by.
I'm seeing stores suffer. I think that's very fair. But I'm not seeing Hasbro suffer.
Let me ask you this: what does Magic look like without stores?
It looks terrible.
No, like what functionally? What does it look like?
I think the question I would have is they would go on Arena, but I think more importantly, I don't think there's going to be no stores. Like, I think LGSs have to change the way they view the world. And I have been on this beat for the entire time. Like, the idea of like passion project LGSs, they're not going to work. They're not going to work. Like,
that is
there's 8 LGSs in Charleston, South Carolina. That is an insanely stupid number.
That is, I bet you passion project LGSs is 75% of LGSs.
Yeah, and that's like that, and boom, I found the problem.
So what does Magic? So, and I would say the majority of those LGSs probably feel a lot of how I feel right now, which is like
absolutely. I'm with you,
showering in it.
I want to keep running an LGS. I like the idea of creating a community, and at one point it wasn't worth it financially. Like, it would be at one point it was easier for me to go get a job.
I heard Josh's beer open,
and now at this point, the decisions that WotC is making it an actively poor decision for me to put the time and the energy into owning an LGS.
Okay.
It moved from a break-even position to an actively poor decision. I think a lot of LGSs are going to start feeling that over the next 12 months.
Like, they will. And like, that's sad for them. But like, I mean, like, there's too many LGSs. Like, that's the hard truth that nobody wants to. This is the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Is that, like, there are cities, I live in one, with too many LGSs. There's just too many. And so, like, we split the players up into too many small pockets, and none of them can survive. So, like, when some of them close, the other ones will get bigger, and they will survive. It's the way the world works.
All I learned here is that I'm bad at content because I don't see what you guys see.
Well, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the LGS.
I care about the LGS. I am the champion of the LGS.
It's not even that. And maybe I need to turn off my computer brain and look at it more emotionally, because it does hurt when something I care about as much as Magic takes a hit like this. And maybe that's why you see so many people having more of a visceral reaction. This seems like it's going to be a bump in the road. Like, I'm not on George's side where it's like everything is fine and peachy keen and I don't believe the stock price. No, I believe the stock price. It's probably going to go down. It's probably overvalued, and they've probably made several mistakes. But I also don't agree that this is the beginning of the end for Magic. George, you said something earlier to me in a private phone call that I'm going to leak in front of the rest of the world right now. So hold on to your pants.
A scoopy.
Hold on to your pants. You said it's fascinating that the main major TCG is always the one innovating in the industry. And we turn to something like Magic the Gathering, which is constantly innovating. And so that gives me faith that when things like this happen and mistakes are made, corrections can happen. They've showed us nothing in the past that says they're not willing to change course. They're not willing to try new things and fix what they're doing. So I just can't get on either side of this argument. I can't get on the side that everything is peachy keen and everyone's overreacting. No, there's a reason to be upset. Things are going poorly. But Magic's not dying, and your LGS isn't going to shut down tomorrow because of
Let me be very clear here. I have no problem at all with consumers being upset at WotC. I totally get that. I have no problem with LGSs being upset with WotC. I think this is a bump in the road. But I don't think it's like this hyperbolic, if I pull up my binoculars, I can see the end. I just who's going to take their place? People are going to want to come to card stores and play games. There's nobody else in the running. It's it. It's Magic or bust. There's one game store in America that I know of that doesn't carry Magic. I'm sure there's more than one. But
if Magic dies,
there's
you will
probably
lose
less than 10
TCG players. Yeah.
Yeah. If Magic were to close tomorrow, every TCG, maybe except for Pokemon, maybe would die instantly. It'd be over.
That'd be the beginning of
the let me ask you something. What is Magic doing that's innovating? I want to go back to that.
They just did serialized cards.
That is not innovating.
What other TCG did that?
That is something that we've seen done. That's not.
What other TCG did that other than MTZWBY?
I don't know the answer to that question. It doesn't matter what other TCG did that. This is like Apple. It doesn't matter that some other phone company makes a folding phone and they're the first to market with the folding phone. Apple will make the best folding phone when they come out with a folding LED phone or whatever that technology is. Magic will be I don't see Magic as an innovator. I don't see Magic as a
they created different kinds of boxes. They were the first ones to do that.
If they had to innovate, they wouldn't have this cash grab product that's just a reskin of beta with the same artwork. They don't even pay their artists.
Look, the statement Magic is innovating doesn't mean every product they have is the most innovative and newest product. This isn't a Steve Jobs argument where something on Magic is on a pedestal. They still swing and they still miss. But the idea of multiple products across multiple boxes, the draft, the set, and the collector box, things of that nature. The commander decks, right? The commander is a format that people in the community innovated, but then Magic pivoted into this community format and started kind of supporting that and saying, "Hey, we're doing this." Most other games don't lean into and support community-made formats. That just doesn't happen. Right? They're constantly changing foiling. They're constantly changing the way they print cards. They're constantly changing in what they include in the box. We say we can't keep up because there's so many different iterations of everything. That, to some level, is innovation. Now, is it reinventing the wheel? Is it creating the first iPod? No. But it's more than we're seeing most of these other games doing.
If we're calling throwing crap against a wall and seeing what sticks innovating, then
yes, that is what we mean by innovating.
We can say that Magic is innovating.
I'm sorry they can't have your incredible success rate, Louis, of 100% never fail. But I'm sorry they can't be as successful as you.
Listen, you innovate on you. We have watched you for the last 2 years kind of find yourself and at times throw things against the wall and see what sticks and find your lane. That's part of innovation.
When you're using my YouTube channel to make a point that Magic is in a good place. I did not watch
your content.
You can just admit that Magic's not in a good place. What? What? So
all right, you're making Josh cranky on his birthday. Good job, Louie.
Here's my honest take. This is my honest take.
Oh, I'm glad you're going to stop lying to us. Thanks.
I think Magic is on a X number of year path of moving digital. I honestly believe that, and I think that they are cashing in on paper right now in order to go more and more digital. We had a 12% or 11% price increase. We have the reprinting the reserve list and calling it at an anniversary celebration. We have
you're listening to this podcast and you take a shot every time that's mentioned, I will speak at your funeral for free. I know you're going to die halfway through whatever episode you picked the last 2 months. Let me know and I'll speak at your funeral.
The start of this was collector's products in which they take half the amount of cards, they lower their cost on producing the box and jack up the price by 200%. I don't know, 100%. And I believe Magic is on a road of moving completely digital.
I don't agree with that, but I don't so what?
We need so what? That completely changes everything.
Consumers want to go digital.
So I think some consumers
and Magic provides that.
I think majority of consumers don't want to go digital.
Then they won't. Then why would WotC do it? Then why would WotC force you to go digital if the majority of their buyers want paper?
I didn't say that. I said current Magic players, their growth rate will be higher on video games. Look at Hearthstone, something like Hearthstone that grew so fast. Magic has a more
franchise community.
Yes, more robust history and brand name and whatever. If they pull off what Hearthstone did, they're able to profit more in the long run. I believe that WotC feels like paper Magic is holding. Maybe let me reset that. I believe that Hasbro believes that paper Magic is holding Magic back from innovating, from making a game that is interactive. And there's another Marvel game that came out that everyone's talking about how innovative it is and how back and forth the mechanics are. When you have something that is paper, it prevents you from doing things because you're limited to the paper cards. On digital, you're able to have cards do multiple things and multiple effects and have things change. You're able to affect and change the way that your cards work online. And when something's broken, you're able to quickly fix it. I believe that Hasbro sees Magic the Gathering as their source into the video game industry to really push, and that they are cashing out on paper Magic in the last X number of years. I don't know where that ends, but I think that we see a day when we start seeing new releases that are not on paper. And George, I agree. They're not going to just get rid of paper releases, but you're going to see the main feel of Magic become more and more digital.
I would just say over the last year, we've seen them do the opposite. And I understand that Louis' opinion is that one held by everybody in the community right now. But let me just say that, like, that used to be that pre-releases, that Arena got the release before stores did. That went back this year. We got more promos as stores this year. Like, they've stepped up this
Warhammer
year.
Commander decks,
I mean, like
products.
Like they've done a lot for LGSs this year. And I get like,
stop it.
By the way, I want everybody to know this.
They've done a lot for LGSs.
I know that
this
Louis
year
has lied last week about how mean the comment section was to me, because everybody messaged me how much of a liar Louis was. So I appreciate y'all still loving me, and I still love you.
Listen,
and I know I'm alone on this.
Who's the one person that sent George a message? We got to stop that.
I got a bunch of messages calling Louis a liar.
Nobody sent George a message.
3 of them.
What has Magic done for the LGS in the last year? Tell me, like, promos. They've given
you got a million promos. You got a million. Hold on, I gotta sign back into my internet.
A million promos.
Hold on.
George's hotel kicking him off the Wi-Fi. Old man in the next room is being too loud. Louis, your point's hard to discuss because I mean I think it's fair with.
I think it's Pokemon kicking me off.
Things like the metaverse
there you go.
And everything. It's everything is moving on.
God, don't bring NFTs up. Please stop.
I wasn't going to bring NFTs
unsubscribe.
up.
Unsubscribe.
There goes my growth of my channel. Josh starts making Magic content and tries to kill my channel with NFTs.
You can't use my channel as a model of success, but there goes all my giant growth. Anyway, everything is moving online to some capacity, right? Spoiler alert, I thought I was the old man with my birthday today. Apparently you're older than me. The internet is a thing, and things are moving towards the internet. You could convince me of a world where we see formats such as standard be online only, essentially, and removal of standard product in the way that we know it. You could tell me that story. But if Magic removes paper product at a whole, it's now in a completely different realm. Now, first of all, when you started this discussion, you finally admitted on this channel, which none of us have admitted before, that Magic IP is actually meaningful. We were always wondering, we had the discussion a couple months ago, is Magic IP, does it matter? Well, if Magic is going to move online and compete with Hearthstone, with Marvel Snap, and things of that nature, the IP matters. We need people to care about Magic.
Marvel Snap. Have you played it?
Yeah. No, I have not. But we need people to care about Magic to choose Magic over these other things, right? So maybe that's the path for Magic IP. But they are going to lose long-term players. There was the Alta Fox article that came out where you play Magic for 2 years, you quit for 2 years, and then you come back for the rest of your life. When you move to a digital platform, you're not going to see that, right? People don't do that when it comes to digital platforms. It's so easy to put them down. There's so many new things to pick back up, and I can't be the only one that knows that. WotC has to know if you move fully digital, there's a much higher turnover, you're going to have a much lower retention, and you're competing in a different realm.
So if I'm accurate, which fine, I'm not, whatever. I think that paper Magic would be more fun to play. I think you would see kitchen table Magic come with a completely new, like completely new energy. Without the new products coming in, I think you would still see a vibrant community. What goes away is the LGS. I think you will see a vibrant Magic the Gathering community that changes and doesn't see the new set stuff.
So let me ask you this, and then I'll let you guys and you and George both respond. Then, in this world where WotC, maybe they want to move digital, maybe they don't, and we want to bring back the in-store play, we want to bring back that vibe and that feel. If we produced fewer sets a year, like someone suggested, we will see within the next, what did you say, 12 to 48 months? Tell me you're a dad without telling me you're a dad. Like, go by months. But we will see.
Did I say 12 to 48? I definitely meant 12. I definitely meant 12 to 24. But
yeah,
whatever.
It was funny. But if we slow down on the number of products printed, could we not achieve this perfect nirvana, this avatar scenery that you guys are talking about here? Don't roll your eyes at me. Answer the question.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't know, because I don't think things are going that terribly.
George is not great.
They released 4 bet sets in a row, and the Earth is ending. Like, I don't get it. Like, yeah, like Dominaria was rough. The Innistrad sets, total flops. Like,
go back before that, George. What was before that?
No idea. Couldn't tell you if you had the gun in my head. New Capenna was also a flop. Even though New Capenna was fine.
I mentioned this in my video today. New Capenna was great. I love New Capenna. Underrated.
Like,
I disagree.
Like, you disagree with what?
New Capenna being great.
Oh. I guess you used to agree with him. Now that you're on the FUD Master Flex style, now you disagree. Now you agree with him. Now you disagree with him.
What's
I know that.
bad about New Capenna?
It's not fuddy enough for him.
I liked the New Capenna gold cards. I thought that was cool.
So it's got something cool, high end that would be fun to collect.
No, because they printed 1 billion of them. They come out with another. You can get New Capenna for like $6 right now.
But that's
like
$4. That's the only problem with New Capenna is that there's too much of it.
Well, it's not collectible. They took something that could have been cool and collectible.
I have an idea.
They made it not collectible.
I have an idea.
The set's horrible.
Oh my God, George going to suggest serialized cards, Louis. Why should you do it?
Produce less boxes. Maybe that would solve a lot of the problems.
Okay, that's genius.
Just spitballing.
No one's ever said that before.
Apparently not.
Wow.
I think that there's more to my point with the online thing is I think there's more to this than they're printing too many boxes. In my opinion, the reason that they're printing too many boxes is because they're cashing out. They are the same thing with secret layers. They're printing 20 secret layers a month and cashing in on the secondary market, the singles market.
Secret Layer's a tough one, right? Because that one does feel like they're in direct competition with themselves. I'm with you on this one. It's Secret Layers. I'm all for a secret layer every once in a while, but what are we doing?
George, let me ask you this. Let's pretend like I'm not crazy.
Okay.
George, you want to borrow it? Here you go, George.
That's going to take a minute.
Let's pretend I'm right, and Magic moves away from paper and into digital. Heavy. Okay. What does that mean for the LGS?
I think I would need to know what you mean by move away from. Does that mean no sets? Does that mean half sets? Does that mean
this is not going to be a 2 years from now? There's no Magic the Gathering sets. In my opinion, this is going to be a slow 5-year process, 5 to 10.
So what does it mean?
It's going to be a slow 5 to 10 year process.
Okay, where are we in 5 years?
I think in 5 to 10 years, you don't see any Magic paper product.
In 10 years, George. No.
So
stores can't survive without Magic.
I think they can.
Is this the Pokemon transition? Is
Bingo.
this the Pokemon transition? God, I'm so good at content.
The game that has gotten this right while Wizards screws it up is Pokemon.
I don't want to be on this.
You can solve this whole thing.
Josh, do you want to do a podcast on your channel next week with me?
Love to. Louis, you want to be invited?
What? No. That's our only rule. It's the No Louis Club.
Anyway, okay, go ahead, Louis.
If you go back, I don't know, if you go back 5 years, 6 years, whatever, and you put code cards in Magic the Gathering packs that allow you to play Magic the Gathering Arena for free while you buy booster packs, I think that all of these decisions look very, very different. I don't know what's more profitable
but you just told me that in 5 years there's no more Magic the Gathering paper sets.
Because that's what they're choosing. That is what that is the direction that Hasbro is choosing. That doesn't mean it's the right direction. If you look at what Pokemon is doing, they've created a economy that revolves around what the main product is, the booster box. They don't need some flashy collector box because they
have 10 million products every set. They have a product. I don't remember the last week I didn't get in some new Pokemon product.
But George, what is inside that new Pokemon product? Pokemon
Packs.
V10s. What packs?
Depends. There's usually I can get in the V10s. There's 6 packs.
What packs? What are they? They're the same packs that are in the booster box.
They are not. There are some are and some are not. Some they're all in different booster boxes. Yes.
Yes, they're all the same thing. They're not collector packs.
The point he's making, there's no collector pack, there's no set pack. It's just a booster pack. Pokemon has a core booster pack.
They have the same thing, and they're the same freaking price. They're $4 a pack. You want a V10? Ask yourself how many packs there are and multiply it by 4. If there's 5 packs, it's $20. If there's 20 packs, it's $80. It's the same thing in every single product. The Pokemon market is the healthiest of all the TCG markets right now. The Pokemon market is helping stores. I think from a store perspective, maybe not for your store, but I think for a lot of other stores, myself included, Pokemon is far more successful. You're not having any conversation with me on how much Pokemon did I have to sell online to move my allocations, because
nobody told you to open up every collector box you got just to on the same page.
In fact,
you called me and told me you were going to do that. And what did I tell you, Dr. Louie?
I don't have to do that with Pokemon, because every single day my store is open, somebody comes in and asks to buy a box of Pokemon every single day. I don't run any events. I run one event on Sundays. I don't host a big event. I don't have advertisements. People walk into the door to buy Pokemon. Because they didn't jack it up. They didn't screw Magic screwed it up, man.
Louie, I say this with nothing but love, but you haven't gone through a bad Pokemon set yet, buddy.
Chilling Reign?
Chilling Reigns is the closest you can
Fusion
get.
Strike.
It wasn't that bad. You weren't there for Fusion Strike.
I have Fusion Strike in my store.
But you weren't there when you got your allocations and you had to take every single box.
I bet you I sold more Fusion Strike last week than any set other than the new one.
How was Brilliant Stars?
Now people want it because it's old. But I mean,
yeah,
you weren't there when you had to take it and nobody wanted it. And that's fine. Let me be very clear here. That's the deal with owning an LGS.
Didn't that set come out at the same time as Innistrad?
I have no idea. Probably.
Yeah. And does anybody walk into your store and want Innistrad right now?
No.
But they want Fusion Strike.
Okay.
Because it's an older set. Pokemon,
well, it's almost like they have different rotation cycles. We should dig into that deeper. You weren't there for Battle Styles. Battle Styles was the only. Battle Styles is the only time my store's ever been in danger.
Yeah,
because they made me take all of it. I asked this was when I was a newer store, so I asked for 1 billion boxes, and I got 1 billion boxes, and I could sell none of the boxes.
It's not great.
I'll bet you I sold 3 cases, maybe 4 out of my 3 pallets.
I think that the general consensus of the community for Magic the Gathering is that Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, whoever you want to blame, doesn't respect the consumer. Doesn't.
I think that's absolutely what most people feel.
Okay.
I just like.
I think this is the result of not.
Let me ask you this: Do you think Jeffy B respects you?
I couldn't care less about Jeffy B.
That wasn't my question, and I think you know that. Do you think Jeffy B respects you?
No, but I think Jeffy B makes a quality product and has a acceptable price.
Oh, so it's almost like you don't really care if they respect you. You care if the product they produce is good or not.
Right, and the Magic products, like, they're not good.
Well, they've had some bad sets. Like,
yes,
that's been my point. Is that
I don't think Brothers War is
overreacting to bad sets.
Brothers War is not a bad set.
Brothers of War is a good set.
I think the market is reacting to bad products. I think you have
what do you mean by bad products?
Collector boxes, set boxes, my point this whole 20 minutes has been that what Pokemon does is they have one box and they put freaking good cards that people want. You want to know why Evolving Skies is $300 right now, $275 right now? It's because
but continue.
It is $275.
If that's true, it's been great seeing you guys. I'm going to give you my new address on the beach, and I'll see you all there. Not you, Louie. You're kind of uninvited because of today's podcast, but nothing but love.
Evolving Skies is that much because Evolving Skies booster box. $270, the lowest price right now. Bye, George.
Tyler,
get the hell out of the podcast.
Tyler, sell them all. Tyler,
you're no longer welcome.
I'm calling him tomorrow. I'm calling him tomorrow. He's selling every box. It's that price because of one stupid card. It's the Moonbryon.
It's that price
price because of Moonbryon. That's why it's that price.
Right, because they put the collectible cards, and it's also that price because it's not alienating players. Players can hop in and play the game perfectly fine without.
The player.
Listen, I'm all on board. I don't think the Brothers War is alienating players. I don't think the Brothers War is alienating players.
Always the most expensive.
You could tell me things like Double Masters, things like I know, gosh, if you're right. If you take a shot every time we mention the Magic 30th product on this list, you'd
be dead in 15 minutes.
How much do I have to pay for George not to speak at my funeral? But those products are they might be, not really helping the consumer. But the Brothers War is not that. Like that's a ridiculous claim. I think this product is great for the average Magic player. I think it's got cards you can play. I think it's got a great theme. I think it's got a good vibe. I've yet to see kind of what cards are super playable and going to crack certain formats yet. But it also has the ability for pretty normal people to pick up some pretty cool things and feel really good. I don't think this is a bad Magic product. I don't think you can classify it as that.
But what if you opened all your collector boxes then sold singles all weekend, Josh?
Hey, listen.
Was I saying that this was a bad product? I don't think that was my take.
Look what Mark Rosewater made me do.
I think my take was that the 5 years of them juicing the system is a bad product. That Magic the Gathering has turned into a bad product as a whole. That it is not.
I don't think that's true either.
Okay.
I don't think you could call Magic the Gathering.
Like, that's insane.
Okay.
Like, how come LGSs aren't dumping it?
What world do you live in that LGSs aren't dumping Magic the Gathering?
Can you find me an LGS that carried Magic last year that doesn't carry it this year?
George, every single Magic the Gathering box in the last year is below our distribution costs.
That wasn't my. Hey, that's not true. Distributors caught up with that. But that's not my question. My question is why are these stores like not dropping Magic the Gathering?
Because it's.
It's a bad product, Louis. It's a toxic product.
Because their entire business is built on Magic.
I heard this from somebody.
Because their entire business is built around Magic the Gathering. Their entire business, everything they do, it's a passion project. It's a passion project.
They spent 5 years. So they're passionate about a failed product? God, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. All right, move on. If you're just gonna fud it up like that, let's move on. If you're just gonna gaslight, and not partake in the conversation,
that was the Uno reverse card. Let's go.
That's fine. Whatever. Like if you don't have an actual conversation about it, we'll just move on. Let's go.
I want Louis' corner person to come out and rub his shoulders after that one.
The product hasn't failed.
Let's go.
Magic the Gathering as a product has failed. in the last 5 years.
Like, what
I
is
wish
your
your guys'
definition of
stores were
failure?
closer to one another so we could really make this throwdown. Like that would be that.
Like, what is your definition of failure if Magic has failed over the last 5 years?
Do you think more or less people play Magic the Gathering this year than last year?
More.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
Pretty strongly.
Okay. Great.
And that's the end of that argument because neither of you can prove either side of that.
Nope.
Thanks for sharing your beliefs, though, fellas. Moving on.
All right, Magic Summit. Speaking of people playing Magic the Gathering,
I think it was great. Like, they were packed. They were basically sold out. Indoor plumbing. It was great. Really, really amazing event. Well thought out. Good job, Magic.
Josh, you got to take this. I saw like 3 tweets about this, and that's about all.
There was 10 billion people there. There were 20. Oh, shout out to Tanner who went there. But he said that was not the U.S. Championship. My store will have that in a couple weeks.
Somebody take George's ability to prospect numbers away. Like
they had great. That was great turnout. It looked like
it looked like a great turnout, and something that was of note for this event, rather than the Magic celebration, Magic Fest in Vegas, is the promotion of open play space and the amount of use that picked up. Now, there was several competitive events, and this is Magic shines here, man, because I'm a semi-competitive player, but I also respect kind of the casual side of things. So there was play space for everything. It was all filled up, and you saw people coming together and really experiencing all sides of the game. And this is what I wish Magic Fest could have been. It was a huge miss not to just like, hey, let's make this big encompassing thing. That doesn't mean Magic Fest was this abysmal failure and everyone should fud it up, but it does mean it could have been better. And as we're going to talk about later in this podcast, it's okay to say things need improvement and then give them props when they make some kind of improvement. So big shout out to this Magic event. There was improvement there. It was really cool to see.
Who put this on?
I thought this one was was private, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it wasn't done by like Hasbro. Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm asking. Who?
I don't know.
You know how I know that it wasn't done by Hasbro?
Oh my God, George, how do you feel about this event?
It seems like it was a success and people really enjoyed it. That's how I know Wizards of the Coast didn't do it. It seems like it was really consumer centric and didn't try to F everybody over and jack up the prices and bend everybody over.
I make one video and I'm as of the time of the recording of this podcast, I've made one video and Louis actively trying to get me banned. Thank you, Louis.
You are wild.
Like, this is easy.
I know it's easy. That doesn't make it right or accurate.
It's 100%.
I understand joining the mob is easy, but like that doesn't mean it's what should be encouraged.
If you guys are looking for a more positive spin on things, you can visit me.
You can find me on MTZWBY with you next
I
to
think
Josh's
the summit's
channel.
great. The summit's great. My point is, it's not put on by Magic. I'm trying to figure out who put it on.
Click the logo, boys.
It begins in -4 days. Everyone.
Louis, okay. We're going to do a quick exercise here. I'm going to need you to look into the camera, and you have 10 seconds to say 2 positive things about Magic the Gathering.
Okay. The Magic Summit is a promotion sponsored by Kingdoms Events LLC and is not affiliated with Wizards of the Coast LLC or its parent Hasbro.
Okay.
So that's my
seconds,
2 positive things. My 2 positive things is that the community can continue Magic the Gathering without Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro. So we'll all be fine.
All right. Well, I should have seen that coming. That one might be.
You deserve that one, Josh. You deserve that one.
That
was on you. That was entirely on you.
Anyway, this event was cool. Did you guys see the thing that's interesting with these events is the amount of social traction they get. You can kind of like pseudo live these events on Twitter or whatever space that community chooses to use. I think that's a neat aspect.
I
of these
was
events.
stunned by the turnout.
Yeah, the videos looked good.
Magic 30 just happened. It just happened not too far away from there. And like the community's clearly a little bit, cranky right now, but like turnout was astronomical.
It was pretty sweet.
That's awesome to see. I'm happy to see it.
How did I
know Louis not? I know Louis not happy to see all the people having fun, but I am happy he wouldn't have fun.
This is kitchen table magic, George.
This was literally my point 5 minutes ago when you guys told me I was stupid. Like Magic doesn't need Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro to be successful anymore. It's its own
I've
thing.
said that, but never into a microphone. So I doubt that I made that claim.
Louis got some takes today, boys. This is good stuff. This is good stuff.
This is evidence of what I said. Like, it doesn't matter what Wizards does. Magic will be fine. It will just be stores that die. Like, stores won't be there. Like, this is great. I don't know who Kingdoms is.
I bet it's a store.
You think?
I'm sure. I bet they sell Magic product in some way.
I'll bet you they're going to dump Magic after this.
Like, what do you mean
stores are dumping Magic left and right? It's over. It's over. My Hero Academia store now. Oh, My Hero Academia had 380 players at their nationals. That's amazing.
Listen, I thought I was the least put together showing into this podcast with baby puke on my shoulder, and here you are spouting some of this stuff, man.
Louis off the rocker today.
I love it. I love this. This is my favorite Louis.
Brothers of War has broken Louis.
It's Brothers War. It's just the Brothers War.
One of them, George, is a best-selling author, Stephen Bowles, best-selling Disney author.
Lorcana. We're in.
Is this the transition?
That's what I've been saying the whole time. Lorcana is the future. It is the future. All right.
You better pray every night that's not true, Louis. I want you to know right now. You better pray that you're
right. Our friendship's over, so like it doesn't matter.
That's true. This is our last conversation, so it doesn't really matter if Lorcana wins or loses now.
Just trying to keep the parents together.
It's a bunch of Magic collectors that put it on.
A bunch of fat cats.
Yeah. It's great. Josh has to carry the segment. This is your idea, buddy. Like,
I have been so far the only one to say anything about this, and it was George.
I have been very positive of this event, and I've said what I need to say.
Magic Summit was great. None of us went to it. Apparently, we don't know a whole lot more about it. That was a great segment on the podcast. Here we go. Moving on to the cryptic event.
I asked you to say nice things. I asked you about the casual play. I made a comment that nobody decided to jump on about how competitive play was there, even though it was a casual play event. Nobody jumped on anything I said. So listen, tuck your tail between your legs on this one. I did my best.
Josh, you're doing great carrying this.
All right. Cryptic event, George.
December 3rd, Compete Sport. You all better be there or you're dead to me. That's
You're
it.
Flying me out, right?
Maybe.
I can't. I won't be able to make it.
You weren't invited. That's
I'm having a visitor that month.
That's great. I don't care. So like we have one of the cryptic artists coming out. He'll be doing signatures. He made a custom playmat for the store. Tanner will be there. He will sign your forehead or your cards or your baby. Bring your baby, or listen, man. He'll sign whatever you want.
No, trust me. Don't bring your baby to George's event.
I would.
What does that mean?
George hates babies.
That's true. So loud.
She was crying when George called earlier. I had to
Bingo. So loud.
It's cold.
Super hyped for the event. People seem to be loving the cryptic, and we're gonna host Learn to Plays every week from here until the event.
Cool.
Sweet.
Awesome. Good luck.
Amazing.
All right, MetaZoo banned from MetaZoo? Question mark. MetaZoo unbanned everybody who they banned.
I also have a new MetaZoo topic that I'll add to the end of this.
Okay, you want to talk about that first?
Nope.
MetaZoo unbanned everybody who they banned from their Discord server, and I think that was a good decision. There's like a lot of weird.
That was an amazing decision.
There's
an
amazing decision would have been not to ban them initially.
Oh my god!
Like let's not go above it. Let's just say that it was a good decision. Why does it have to be more than that?
This is the take that people have said to me all week, and it pisses me off to no end.
Okay,
he yelled at me earlier this week. It was awesome.
I did. Like, this is Mike offering an olive branch to people that were banned.
Great.
That is an awesome thing for him to do, and he deserves amazing credit for doing that. And like, people are like, well, they're going to reban people. Yes, they will. If you go into the Discord and act like a jackass, you're going to get banned again. And you should get banned. But I think that what I hope we see is, I probably know a dozen people banned from MetaZoo, maybe more. I know of one or two banned from Mike. What I would love to see is like the bannings have to go through a more rigorous process, because banning is a big deal. It's also like there's a reason none of these other new none of the new TCGs really do the bannings. And like Mike doesn't, like, I think Mike, bannings reflect poorly not only on the person banned, but the person doing the bannings. And I think Mike recognized that, and he's looking to offer an olive branch to people, and he deserves a ton of credit for doing that.
I argue with the last part. I think you went too far with it. I think it's great. I think it's what he should do. I don't think he deserves a ton of credit for doing it. I think what I would like to see happen is no more bans for outside things. I think this is part of the conversation that's been happening, is that they will still be banning and monitoring the discussion about MetaZoo within the Discord server, which I think is completely fine. I think if it's their Discord server, they want to keep that kind of conversation outside of their server. I understand that. If somebody was in my Discord server, shout out to the Kitchen Table TCG Discord server, and was constantly screaming and yelling about how terrible of a person I am, I would probably not want them in my Discord server. I would probably
shout out to me in the Discord channel. I got you.
George, after this episode, will probably be one of those people, the second person banned from my Discord server ever.
Tyson has my back. Tyson has my back.
That's probably true. But like, I think
I went to his favorite restaurant yesterday.
I think what's going to happen, and what the conversation that I've seen, not directly from MetaZoo, but from people close to MetaZoo, is that they will no longer be banning people for outside conversations about MetaZoo, which I think is a huge win. I think that is a much better direction than their previous direction. So I think that's a big win and a big move forward.
So look, George, you put me in a tough spot because I gotta be on Louis' side, and that's not a place I'm comfortable.
Maybe you should rethink your position then.
Oh, but listen, if I go to the playground and I'm playing basketball and I punch someone in the face and I break their nose and they don't feel it was warranted, then I walk away, and then 6 months later I come back and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, let's make amends." Like I that's the right thing to do, but it's not a tremendously amazing thing to do. I just finally came around and did the right thing. Like, so I don't know if it's like the most amazing thing he could have done. I think it's the right move. I think it's a good move, but let's not get hyperbolic with it.
Like, why can't it just be like the right thing to do and
it's the right thing to do. It's not like the most amazing thing in the world. Like,
yeah.
If I had said on this podcast last week, Mike is going to unban everybody as an olive branch, you guys would have told me I was insane.
Nope.
I told you what I said.
Stop it. You guys are so full of it.
I told you exactly what I would have said. We've had this conversation. I would have said, how fast until they're all banned again? That is the first thing I would have said.
And listen, if he rebanned everybody for no reason, then this was all worthless. I don't think this will be a worthless event. I think George, this is going to be a turning point for MetaZoo.
We're both on the same side of this was good. The only argument is it's not the greatest thing in the entire world. The greatest thing in the entire world.
That's Magicthegathering. We already went over that in the first part of the segment.
No, George thinks the greatest thing in the entire world is the $1,000 Magicthegathering packs, the 60 cards.
I will speak at your funeral. I got your back.
Don't like it, don't buy it.
He loves it. He loves
don't
it.
Like
he
it. Hashtag don't like it, don't buy it.
He thinks that Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast have been so consumer centered and so consumer focused. He loves them. He thinks that everything is going great.
Let me get a hashtag don't like it, don't buy it in the comment section.
Louis is wild today. Brothers broke you.
It did not.
Brothers totally broke you.
You broke
Brothers
me.
Don't fight.
You on this podcast broke me.
No. We talked earlier today. You were not broken. Brothers broke you.
I know. It wasn't broken until we started the podcast. Thank
you did shipping all day today, and I could hear you dying.
Didn't ship all day. So with my kids all day. Went to the mall. We had a lovely
that's
day.
What broke you. Never mind. That follows. Never mind.
We had a great day. They have a reptile center in my mall now, like a reptile rescue center. For $5, you can go and pet turtles. It's amazing.
They charge you to go to the
backwoods mall. That's not a wall, Louis. That's a forest.
I can't figure out Magic's not doing well in your store.
It's a swamp. It's not a mall.
For $5, you can go in and pet turtles and look at snakes. Pretty cool.
You're just hiking through the swamp.
They legitimately, they took the carpet out of the floor and they have literally have concrete. They made I'm not joking right now. I'm gonna send a picture to you, George. They have a concrete and tarp pool with turtles. Like it's a black tarp with concrete and bricks. I'm not joking.
Do you ever think that maybe
not
Brothers
joking.
didn't sell in your store because that's your competition?
Yes, I told you this. That my demographic doesn't buy products like this.
For
We know
every
this.
for every box you buy, you get 5 minutes of reptile petting, and that is not
I'm
a
in.
euphemism.
I'm in.
That is not a euphemism. I
a-
actually mean I'm going to give you an iguana.
It's a reptile
I'm gonna
rescue
actually
center.
give you an iguana.
Listen, like back to the bannings. Like, I think this is the right move. I think it's great. I think it's funny to me. There's people like tracking. There's like this guy on Twitter who's like tracking how many people go back in the server. Listen, I think the vast majority of people who were banned from MetaZoo are probably not coming back to MetaZoo.
Listen, as somebody who's been banned from things, I will tell you, I would never go back.
Look,
Because it's a period, not a comma.
Yeah.
And like I don't blame anybody for not going back to a game after they've been banned.
Right. Like this is.
But
it is going to open.
It is the right thing to
speedrun,
unban
right?
them.
I think that this opens the honest dialogue about MetaZoo on the internet, which I think is good because honest dialogue about the game on the internet will result in more content creators, more content, more views, and a more successful game long term. Like I think like that is what Mike probably sees. Is that some of the content creators are those who were banned. And that means that people are no longer making content about your game, which means no longer eyeballs are getting on your game. So I think that was probably part of the decision that had to do that. And I think that is the right decision as a CEO.
And like those people have to come back now. Sorry, go ahead, George.
No, it's the people in the future. It's the new content creators.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Shout out to Purple Elf got unbanned. Purple Elf is like already trying to score the interview with Mike. And I hope he gets it.
Purple Elf loves Josh.
Listen, Purple Elf, we got a little business though. I was pumping myself after you made a video about how great I was, and then the next thing I knew, the video was deleted, and I was like, "Ah, crap! I don't feel so good anymore." So where's the beef, bro? Where's the beef?
Nobody is allowed to beef with Purple Elf. They got to go through me first. Like I think you're right, Louis. I think the problem with like the bannings was it made content boring because you're always scared of being banned. So you just you produce a bunch of there's another box opening. Yes. And if you take away the fear of bannings, you're going to allow people to have more honest discussion about what's working and what's not working. And that gets views.
Yep.
That gets clicks. Nobody wants to see somebody open their 20th box of whatever game they're covering.
Yep.
They want to hear what your thoughts are on the set, and they want to hear honest thoughts. Both positive and negative.
They want to hear speculation. They want to hear honest thoughts. They want to hear speculation
on things like print runs. And I mean, I think Mike realized that maybe they went a little heavy on the ban hammer, and he was like, we can fix this. And that's why I think it is a big deal because Mike is fixing this, and that's good for Mike, and that's good for MetaZoo.
Sure, and people can smell BS, right? It's when you start to get in the echo chamber of content where everything is just good all the time, it does permeate this weird atmosphere where it's like, hey, is everything good? People start to question it, but then there's no dialogue about that, so nothing ever changes, and then people just become disinterested, right? Yeah, nobody wants the same take over and over again. People aren't going to go to Kitchen Table TCG and then over to my channel if you and I just have the same video all the time and just have
that will not happen this week. It sounds like
people aren't going to watch this content, watch this podcast if we just agree.
It smells like Hawaiian shirts and Crocs.
Are you wearing Crocs? Does this become a foot podcast?
I didn't understand what's going on here. Neither did Josh. So I think it was a big swing and a miss. Unsurprising. Just like your takes this week. Okay. Next topic. We were going to discuss the charity card, which is awesome. Good job, Mike, supporting autism funding. Anti-autism funding, for those wondering.
Yes.
He does not. He's not giving the money to create more autism.
Probably a good job to King Pokemon too. I don't know if King Pokemon still watches our podcast, but
of course he does. Everybody does. But that's all great. They announced today a partnership with Bape.
With what?
Bape. God, how am I the youngest mofo on this podcast?
I don't know what Bape is.
I think you're trying to relive some glory days here, man. I
grew up very poor. So I'll tell you the story. So all I wanted growing up was Air Jordans. That's all I wanted. I loved Michael Jordan. I worshipped Michael Jordan. We could not afford Air Jordans. Couldn't afford clothes. They were like $140 at the time. Like, my dad wasn't like Louis. He didn't make $4,000 a week. We were.
I'm going to title this the last MTZWBY with you podcast. This
God.
video is not
God.
the last podcast ever on the channel.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. And so like my dad got me like the Sean Kemp shoes that were clearly on clearance. Like they were brutal and I had to wear them.
Is that a basketball player?
So now I own 10 million pairs of Air Jordans. I own so many Air Jordans. It is stunning. Shout out to Air Jordans. I also own a ton of Bape. Shout out to Mike for listening with Bape. I want some Bape.
Hold on.
Where did he announce this?
What is Bape? We didn't get to what Bape is.
It's like a clothing company.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Okay, because your Air Jordan story was thrilling. I also grew up broke, so I get it. But it never transitioned into what Bape was. So
Bape is a clothing company.
It's a clothing company.
BAP?
So MTZWBY partners with a clothing company. Neat. Okay. Very cool. And is it like a Louis Vuitton?
This is a big. This is a popular, very popular clothing company.
I am not downplaying this. I'm asking questions for mine because you broke this news to us while we're live on the podcast.
This is how we do it.
Super popular. $39 socks. So I mean that tells you how popular it is.
$39 socks.
Yeah, $39 socks. A hoodie, a limited edition hoodie, $429. So really popular with George's crowd.
I have a ton of Bape.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Louis, do they make talls?
I don't know. I couldn't care less. You know what I went to today? I went into Zoomies. I went into Zoomies at the mall, and I bought the shorts that were $22, but 50% off. But they didn't have my size. But the very kind young lady was able to order them for me online at the $11 price point. And I ordered 3 of them. And she said, "Why do you want 3 of them?" I said, "Because then for the next 3 years, I have shorts in the summer."
Remember when I said you change this podcast time more times than your pants? I think I just proved my point.
Probably. I'm sorry, George, I can't afford $1,280 jacket.
I was about to say.
When I ask if they have talls,
way more than $400.
Yeah, if I'm asking if they have talls, it's not because I'm being picky. It's not an option. I am 6'8", 260 pounds. That's not a choice.
I wasn't picking on you, Boo Boo. It's okay.
You said you guys.
Master Flex.
Listen,
Louis is big enough for 2 people. I apologize.
I am. This is offensive. George, I am so much bigger.
This is great. This is awesome. This is a prime example of where MTZWBY's partnerships can mean apparently so much to one person and literally nothing to somebody else. Congratulations!
You guys are going to buy this?
No, I couldn't care less about a $300 shirt.
$500 jacket.
I can't afford $100 shirt.
I'm buying serialized cards, man. I'm moving. I'm shaking.
I got this from Mr. Beast, this shirt right here. I wear it once a week. And
shout out Mr. Beast, you know he watches the podcast.
It planted a tree. I think it planted 20 trees when I purchased it. That's cool. I'd rather give $40 to Mr. Beast and plant 20 trees than spend $100 on a t-shirt. That seems stupid.
I would not. I'm in, Mike.
Congratulations, buddy.
If you need a plus size model, Mike, I'll be happy to be your plus size model.
Cool.
I got the curves in all the right places.
That was your big take. That was your.
That's. Listen,
This is the second biggest MTZWBY announcement ever after the arcade game. Don't at me.
Cool. For those of you who are interested in seeing overpriced clothing,
underpriced,
probably
overpriced clothing on oversized men, we will all be rocking at that next podcast.
You can also go to us.bape.com and buy yourself a $329.
Wait, why are we marketing for Bape right now? What is happening? Why is this a thing?
I bought the Kid Cudi Bape collab too.
If they want to sponsor the podcast, I'm all in.
That was pricey.
If Bape wants to sponsor the podcast, I'll start wearing. Have you seen now? People are wearing the strap, the fanny pack across the front. I'll start wearing that. Oh, I'll look good.
Why does a snapback hat have to be $125?
If it doesn't have the hometown TCG logo on it, it's not worth it, baby.
What can you possibly
not worth it?
I'm not gonna lie, Mike. I want you to know this went differently than I expected. I just want to make that very clear, Mike.
This hat costs $35. This hat costs $35.
You live in a different world, George.
This hat costs $35. It has my credit cards in it in a pocket that says "Be kind." Look, it's got a pocket in the hat. They don't cost $35. It has a lifetime warranty. If anything ever happens to this hat, you can replace it for free. And it's got Stampede laces. If you're on a boat and you need your life to not fall off, that $135 hat won't stay on your head. This $35 hat
costs $35 and doesn't assume you're too much of a moron to have your own pockets or have to tie your hat to your chin. It's just an awesome hat. See, it's not self-assuming. Look at that. Boom.
It stays on. And $125. Babe, you're ripping people off. Your hat costs people $5, babe. Okay?
This went south, George. This went south.
That was a terrible take. That was a terrible take, George.
I mean, dude, you just promoted a $500 sweatshirt to TCG players. That doesn't sound like cardboard. I'm not spending money on that. What do you think this is?
I am 1,000% buying this entire collection.
Have fun, buddy. Hey, may the zoo be with you. You have lost any. I didn't have any respect for you to lose, so that's it.
I expect nothing less, but you need to know that you live in a different world, my friend.
All right, I think that's probably enough. Do we give people enough?
Are you sure this has been so fun?
I'm drinking Miller Lite. There's no chance I'm buying a $500 sweatshirt.
I think that's why you're drinking Miller Lite, to save up.
It's out of necessity. George.
Hey everyone, here's a big hot thing from MetaZoo. We have vape product. What?
I am so excited for vape. It's unbelievable.
Oh my god. How does anybody in the comment section defend you? I'm baffled.
People love vape. People love vape.
I bet you 0% of my comment section knows what vape is. That's my
no.
Here we go.
That's why
we're going right now. Go to your Discord right now. This is all real.
All right.
Oh, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have already mentioned it in your Discord right now.
No, I don't believe it. Anytime George sends me a number like that.
Put it on.
George was on his phone when I wasn't talking. That was weird. I didn't know.
Open it up. Open it up, big boy.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. This has been a wild ride.
This has been a great podcast.
This has been a thing. It's been an experience.
This podcast was the best year and a half of my life. It was a lot of fun. I
made the pivot. I made one video. What are we doing?
We will leave the past episodes up for you to enjoy and
only for 3 weeks. So you better watch them all this week. Get your clicks.
I'm recording them and putting them behind a paywall. Even the ones I'm not in. Screw you guys.
I guess we'll be back next week if we still want to talk to each other. But honestly, I doubt it. Like I doubt it.
This is it.
So
this is it.
Have a great day. Maybe we should never shoot podcasts on Monday again. And I guess
maybe you shouldn't open up 20,000 boxes of Brothers of War. That's for you, Josh.
May the next TCG podcast name be with you.
Did you just leak that? Are we leaking it?
This is the last episode, man. Like, we can't come back from this. How do we become friends after this episode? How do we may the zoo be with you?
My feelings aren't hurt. I've been puked on and pooped on today. This is not nearly as bad.
Louis whining today.
My feelings are hurt. May the zoo be with you.
I don't care.
Be kind to people you do podcasts with. See you next week.